Welcome to Center of Light tonight. Do a little dance, make a little love, get down tonight. How you sexy, funky human beings doing today? Good to see you. Keith Anthony Blanchard here. Yanava. Today was quite an interesting day, wasn't it? Tonight is Center of Light. Heads up. The crash heard around the world. Excuse me one second. Thank you. The crash heard around the world. I don't per se know what happened, but I know a lot about what it very well could mean. So tonight we're going to be talking a little bit about Mark Zuckerberg, a little bit, and a little bit about Facebook. But even though I used this thumbnail or this splash banner as it's called, it's because of what Facebook is in the collective consciousness of the world. I don't know what happened. Some say, I heard somebody say it was lightning. I think he was just jacking me, just to be silly. I have an article I'm going to read a little later. This is not about politics, not about the politics of Facebook or slamming Mark Zuckerberg. But it's about the relevance. The elephant is in the room. We need to observe it. I'm grateful to Mark Zuckerberg. However that may sound to you is irrelevant. Well, it's relevant to me. A lot of my life is on this platform. So I'm grateful that I have this platform to speak from. But tonight is Center of Light. Again, heads up. The crash heard around the world. Let's do some bill paying. Thank you, Robert Harrison. Always thank you, Robert Harrison. Merch to perch, support Center of Light. I've been doing this for quite a while. And I appreciate your support and you always being here. See you shortly. Welcome back to Center of Light. Tonight is Center of Light Heads Up. Heads up meaning I got black stuff on my face is what it means. Heads up. Heed. Be aware. Take notice. Read the invisible words. Listen to the invisible language. Use your third eye. See the invisible code. How is the crash of Facebook today? For whatever reasons it's crashed. How is this relevant to a spiritual topic? That's a good question. How is this relevant? Well, Facebook has 60% of the internet volume on its platform. Facebook is it's relevant because Facebook has 60% of the internet on its platform. 2.89 billion people per month. Its worth is $1 trillion, or actually $920 billion. If this would have been permanent, do you know how many people that you love you will have never made contact with ever again? Do we understand how much the consciousness of the world was shifted today because of the people you would never make contact again, the money that it generates, the money that it's worth? I think that makes it more than relevant. Boy, I ate some peanuts and they're kicking me in my pants throat. I'd say it makes it more than relevant. We always heard from New Agers, certain spiritual teachers, conspiracy theorists, the economy's going to crash. Today, the economy did crash. The social media economy, worth $1 trillion, crashed. It's a new kind of social distancing. All those people that we've never met in person, but that became very dear to our hearts, was the potential of being gone forever. I think it makes it more than relevant. Facebook tonight is Center of Light. Heads up. From Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul, my bestseller came out a year ago. Excerpt from 1996. I vesseled this. The world's economy will collapse and your funds will have no worth. Yes, the very thing many have valued above all will become valueless. The recent economic downturn in Japan, this was in 1986, most surely indicate to you that if such a crash can happen to the prosperous nation of Japan, no country is safe from such a fate. But though the world's nations may falter economically, it does not mean that many people will not prosper individually. Those who have developed themselves into a space of prosperity consciousness will be able to manifest what is needed not only for themselves, but for others close to them. This is only one domino to fall in a whole chain of events. Don't get caught in the hoopla that these events are bad, dire. We use words to describe, I understand. You get caught in the nonsense, the current will pull you in. All of this is designed for our spiritual expansion. Every bit of it. All of it. Even while we've been locked into the house for 18 months. It's for your good, my good, the highest good. So if this can happen to a $1 trillion powerhouse platform, it can happen anywhere. I don't know the reasons, whether it was hacked, because the interview last night on 60 Minutes had anything to do with it. I don't know any of that. That's irrelevant to me. So a new domino tumbled today. Do you know the percussion wave that sounded off when that $1 trillion worth domino went? It shook the whole world until about a couple hours ago when people said, oh my God, thank God Facebook is back online. It changed the entire sphere of consciousness of the earth. So you got to give Mark Zuckerberg his credit. He invented something that brought people from all corners of the earth together, and that all crashed. And we all began to look like the family of Little House on the Prairie when we couldn't get on social media. I think it's more than relevant that if this was the first domino as such to collapse, birds of a feather flock together. Dominoes of a color, center of light color, it's coming down the pipe. Birds of a feather flock together. So if domino number one fell, seems to me, as a spiritual teacher and learning the language, domino number two is beginning to wobble. I'm going to read just a little bit of what, I don't know what source this comes from, it's just from the internet. What happened on Facebook today? Again, tonight's post is not really about Facebook. It's about what this is in this game of awakening. Facebook and its sister properties, Instagram and WhatsApp, are suffering from ongoing global outages. We don't know yet why this has happened, but the how is clear. Earlier this morning, something inside Facebook caused the company to revoke key digital records that tell computers and other internet-enabled devices how to find destinations online. In simpler terms, sometime this morning, Facebook took away the map telling the world's computers how to find its various online properties. As a result, when one types Facebook.com into a browser, the browser has no idea where to find Facebook.com. And so it returns an error page, which we all saw. Like I mentioned earlier, in addition to stranding billions of users per month, the Facebook outage has stranded its employees from communicating with one another using their internal Facebook tools. They have to talk basically using safe mode or some sort of command prompt kind of idea. That's because Facebook's emails and tools are all managed in-house and via the same domains that are now stranded. Which I won't talk much about. I'll just touch on it. And then there was this interview on 60 Minutes last night with Frances Haugen. Are they related? I have no idea. It's even more magical or more synchronistic or in alignment if they're not related. Because of the interview last night as to what happened today, if these are two independent things, they're not so independent. Because Spirit is revealing them, saying, do you see the dominoes are wobbling? And when I say dominoes, I don't mean in a negative sense that Facebook is a bad thing and needs to wobble. That's not what I'm suggesting at all. I'm saying there's a synchronicity here. It makes it more than relevant. It's not just someone got into Facebook's mainframe and decided to punch a few buttons and erase a couple of lines of code. That's how it is. It's a sign that of such power, Facebook is powerful. It reaches every freaking country in the world that it possibly can have social media. So these power structures, things that we have become settled and comfortable in, are beginning to weaken. They're breaking apart. I think what took place today is going to bring in some regulations. What took place last night with the interview is going to bring in regulations. But regulations are not really what we need. because the last few presentations I've done, I had mentioned that to play in the arena of God, you have to play by the laws, not the rules. Anything not of the law, rules can be of the law, under a law. You're safe, you have a safety net. But rules that are made for the sake of ruling are going to collapse. You saw it today as a manifestation of what things can look like. Again, if we would have lost Facebook, people say, I don't care. I do. A lot of my beautiful friends, my soul life partners, I don't have their personal phone number. And we can meet in groups like we do now, hang out, make some spiritual love. It's very relevant. So tonight is Center of Light Heads Up. The crash heard it around the world. The heads up aspect is me suggesting something's going to fall bigger than Facebook. It is the way of energy. It's how energy moves, acts, and behaves. One thing goes, it gets a greater momentum, and then things begin to tidal wave. Butterflies' wings flapping on one side of the earth causes a tsunami on the other. Today is the time to ground yourself, and ongoingly. Take your shoes off, jump up and down, dance. Bring your soul outward into your conscious frame of reference. Well, how do I do that? You do it by grounding yourself. So the soul can first have something to plant itself. Like electricity to run properly, electricity has to be grounded. You too are electrical. So you have to be grounded. Second is you call your soul back to you. You can call it by your name. You can make up a beautiful name that you think your soul would love. Call it John Doe if you like. Come back to me. Lovingly command it, if you will. Don't take no for an answer. Come back to me. Hello, Abulita. Hello, Robert, Ted, Miss Kelly, Dana Troller on YouTube. Call your soul back. Because we saw a piece of a dark night of the soul today. I did. I wasn't nervous. I let it go immediately. I just gonna let this go. But it did not nullify how I felt about losing those people who I've never met, which are part of who I am. Everyone in these rooms and everyone that I communicate with. Some are just simply passing by acquaintances. A major domino has tipped over today. Picked back up, broken in pieces, glued together. It ain't what it was. Because out of it came an awareness. Out of last night's interview, however that is, related to what took place today or not, it's irrelevant. It's the elephant in the room that these two events have coincided so close together that if it's not connected on purpose by some team or whoever did said things, it's connected by spirit. Hello, Bob. I say it's more than relevant. Take a short pause. I'm going to come back and read a little more from Homecoming Crossing the Bridge to the Soul about such a time that we're living in. And what I truly believe, what happened today could seriously mean. One event happens, the next one happens. It's like the opening up of football season. You got the pre-games, then all the football games start for a whole season. Well, this is a season for one turning over of things. This is likely going to continue to 2022. And then we're going to see a wide open window of things coming forth, being regurgitated from the collective gut, so that we can collectively see it, feel how we feel about it, like we did today, and make a new decision. Today, we made a new decision. When we realized that social media was lights out, we didn't like it so much. Some people said, ha ha ha, I get it. Many people didn't like it so much. And in our not liking it so much, our consciousness shifted worldwide. And they came back on. Okay, this is just all a course of events that they were working on it, like linesmen when the internet goes down or cable goes down. Well, so what? There's an order, there's a synchronicity, there's a chronological order of how things unfold. What if no one truly gave a crap? It wouldn't be the $1 trillion worth company that it is. So I give credit where it's due. I get to play here and hang out with all of you because of it. And because of that, I am grateful. How about some Lavender Soul? Let's see if I have time for a change. I'll see you shortly. Breathe instead. I didn't have time for a change.
Trust that I will guide you in whatever you do. Just remember to breathe and do your very best to live in love, give in love, be in love, and love you shall receive.
What I want to be and see, what I want to see and want, knowing God is by my side. There is nothing I need to know. Expand myself to know there is no one else but me and God who's in my heart.
Welcome back to Center of Light. Tonight is Center of Light Heads Up. Heads up. Not only because I'm offering this to you as I want you, if you don't already, to learn the language. The language of synchronicity, alignments, the language in between the noise, the space between the notes, the words of light in the silence. Heads up. So from now, if you're such a one, from now, just be aware that the crash that was heard around the world took place today. It moved everyone globally. The consciousness of the world shifted today into a little bit of possibly necessary panic. I don't know Bob. I don't know Tricia. I don't want to lose these people in my life. It makes it more than relevant for a spiritual topic, and to show the lightness and the sameness and the importance of it and what it could mean. Facebook is worth $1 trillion, $928 billion. 2.89 billion visitors, players, Ready Player One a month. Makes it more than relevant. Trisha Trisha, get out of my head. Trisha just mentioned, do you still have Lavender Soul CDs left? Right before the song was ending, I have thousands of all 3 albums. And hello, LaDonna. I have thousands of them in boxes stacked in my kitchen. I made a vow to myself. I want to move them. Why? Because I don't want them to be in boxes in my kitchen. I want them to be filtered through your ears, into your heart, into your experience, so you can have more of this delicious music. Members of the Memphis Symphony Orchestra, the pianist, the violinist, Bernard, it was of the Vocal Arts Ensemble. Bernard and I are rock guys from years back. We saw each other at a restaurant one day after many years of being apart. He said, hey, Keith, what's happening? And I said, blah, blah, blah. And he said, hey, man, why don't you come write an album with me? I said, let's do it. And then he met these Memphis Symphony Orchestra players, and they're actually part of the group. So, yes, I want to move these discs. I usually sell them $20 a piece, which is fair, but I'm going to bring that way down. $10 plus shipping, like $13 total. I want to start moving these things. You got $13, I'll send you a disc. Let's see how that works. If not, LaDonna says, you know me, OPP. No, let's change that. Just $10. How about $10? I want to move these things. This is not about me making money. I wrote that song you just heard, Breathe, one night after a gig. I got a little alcohol loopy, had some friends upstairs. Keith, pick up your guitar, and I picked it up, and I just started playing these simple chords, C to F, a raised F with a whatever, F9, and I started scatting some melodies, man. And then I saw Bernard the next day or so. I said, bro, check this out. And he started jotting lyrics, and he and I started ping-ponging lyrics back and forth. The song is called Breathe. Breathe and expand myself to know there is no one else but me and God who lives in my heart. Whoa, whoa. So tonight the Center of Light heads up. A large domino has toppled today. A momentum has been set in motion in the earthly divine ocean, and has a potential to bring lots of cray-cray emotions. I'll be in touch with you shortly, Tricia. Thank you. It makes it more than relevant. We saw an interview last night on 60 Minutes about someone, supposed whistleblower. I'm not saying she ain't. Whatever. I'm not going into the politics of it. But is it coincidental that this happened today? Are they tied together? I don't think they are, but that doesn't mean I'm right. But even if they're not tied together, it makes it more relevant, because there's no malice behind the interviewer, the interviewee, and what happened today. Spirit says, I'm lining these two up. So we better line ourselves up. So if a $1 trillion company was broken today, it says everything else is fair game. Bob, I see you, brother. Thank you. From Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. I'm very proud of this beautiful work. This work has brought me to you and you to me, and together we. Thank you. It's my life. It's my heart. It's my intention to give my contribution, just like yours. And your contribution to Center of Light, as you are doing now, is everything to me. And that's why it scared the bejesus out of me. Scared. I say that's not really how I felt. I simply didn't want it to be something permanent, because that would have meant a lot of the permanent relationships we all have would simply disappear, and that would simply suck. From Homecoming, written in 1996 to 1998, this is pointing to right here, right now, this morning at 11:38. Here we go. My spirit dialogue. Spirit ask, Keith, can you understand why people are not willing to change their thinking? Like you, mostly live with deeply rooted beliefs, reinforced from their past and past lives. More than likely, this explanation does not surprise you, because you know what it has taken for you to move through your own I am separate from God belief. But the fact remains that for the world to actually become the kingdom written about in the passage of Scripture, in this passage of Scripture, everyone must do the requisite spiritual work. The passage of Scripture was before I started reading. The good news is that the truth process has already begun. It is not difficult to find malfeasance of all kinds revealing itself. Governments are being exposed for what they do. Officials of some religious denominations now face challenges because they have chosen to sweep their clergymen's misdeeds under the rug. The schools are full of too little learning and too much violence. And the economy, Facebook is worth $1 trillion. And the economy, well, it seems that the many institutions that the world assumed were stable are showing some definite signs of breaking down. I tell you again that if humanity... Wow. I read this paragraph and it hits me right where it needs to. I tell you again that if humanity were in alignment with the divine will, we are in alignment with the divine will, but to the level that we could be is really what's being said, because this was written in 1996. I tell you again that if humanity were in alignment with the divine will, it would not be in its present condition, but rest assured, this condition will be corrected early in the new millennium. That is when the entire world will find itself submerged in absolute God change. And that is when it will become mandatory for everyone to question everything you believe to be true. As you all meditate upon the enigma of God, you will have no choice but to re-examine what you think to be divine. Continuing to read from my PDF document. I'm going to read this up until it gets into the political, and then I'm backing out. In a chapter from Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul, or The Divine Principle, interchangeable books. In a chapter titled Releasing Control and Letting Go, after a page break, meaning a new subject, I come in asking Spirit this question. This is 1996 to 1998. When will this cleansing occur? It is happening now, Keith. Take a look around. Can you not see the infrastructures of family, religion, education, and geopolitics are all beginning to weaken? And I say without a doubt, but I also see a lot of people like you and me, a lot of people who want to rebuild, who want to build and are rebuilding their lives on truth. I see it on the news. Heck, I can even see it in the eyes of people who don't even know that they are searching for something. It seems like almost everywhere someone is looking for something to fill the hole we all feel inside. What on earth is going on? And Spirit says, I am answering people's prayers. And I say, huh? Keith, you seem to think that the rebuilding of society and everyone's search for truth are different from one another, but they are one and the same. You are all creating these changes by finally recognizing the illusion you have been living in, by realizing your relationship to a cause greater than yourselves. And believe it or not, whether you agree with this or not, Facebook is a vehicle, a launching pad, and a platform that is allowing us, to whatever level of free speech that it does, to implement that greater cause greater than ourselves. That's why I'm grateful. You're all creating these changes by finally recognizing the illusion you have been living in, by realizing your relationship to me, to you to me. If this one went out today, that would have been completely gone. By realizing your relationship to a cause greater than yourselves, and by deciding to take that cause up. It is through this new perception that you're becoming more globally aware, watching everything that takes place within the institutions, at work, in your modern world. Now, when mishaps happen, you demand answers. And I ask the question, will we ever know all the answers? I mean, the truth about all the things that have been kept from us. If you continue your quest for me, indeed you will. Because all questions will fall by the wayside when I become your answer. The answer within, the answer without question! Exclamation point. What I am saying is that once everyone begins to establish the divine within themselves, you will find the solution to all of your problems. You are on the cusp of choosing your fate. And finally, no, we got 2 more paragraphs. 3. What is it that we need to do to ensure that we make it? Take responsibility for everything that happens and tolerate nothing that is not in alignment with where you want to be. And I say, I'm sure that giving up our desire to acquire stuff wouldn't hurt either. No, it would not. But surrender does not only require you to release your want for possessions, it also means you must abandon the dogmatic religious, cultural, and political beliefs instilled in you by those who want to control. You must back out of those systems completely if you are not fed loving spoonfuls of universal truth. This is relevant to what happened today. I've met many who walk the path of universal truth. But are there enough of us to cause the world to shift? 2.89 billion people visit Facebook every month. Are there enough of us in the world to cause everything to shift? Today, the world was shifted. All over the world, there are men and women who are living such exemplary lives that they elevate the consciousness of their entire sphere of acquaintances. Hello, Facebook. There are enough of you, all right. I guess it takes 2.89 billion. There are enough of you, all right. It is when you will make the shift that remains in question. Pray that it will not take too long, because a few years hence, Christ, the Good Shepherd, will be ready to gather his flock. Hello? Is this thing on? I gotta find my switch and turn it on. Makes it more than relevant. So Facebook, though people make fun of Mark Zuckerberg, shows my level of immaturity at work. But sometimes it shows my level of maturity, taking responsibility for my feelings so I can vent them out. And when I'm done, it's done. It's a way of me playing the game, just like everybody else. So, a major domino was tipped today. Caused a big heck of a energy wave, and everyone responded. Many people responded with, I want to be in touch with those I care about. And many people responded by whatever, how they did. And either way, two waves were created that will come back likely as one result until the next event. To the next event. Chronologically, as we move towards the quote future, is all about how we treat the now. Now, how do we do that? Mind your tongue, mind yourself, mind your manners. Let me change that word. Instead of mind, let's use the word heart. Heart your tongue, heart yourself, heart your manners. This is truly the awakening. It's happening right now. It's gone down. Topple, it's gone down. Lots of things are going to crash. Don't elect to crash with them. Let them crash if they're going to crash. Equalize yourself. Oscillate yourself into a state of balance, because you can bet there's more trouble coming. It's not a bad affirmation. It's prophecy, not mine. There will be many people who will profit. Wait and see. But this is prophecy. And it's happening. And Morpheus says, it doesn't matter what people believe if they believe in what I believe. It's going down. So, hence, tonight is Center of Light heads up. So the more we get into the game that's been incited in 2020, New Year's Eve 2019, going into 2020, I said, tomorrow when you wake up, your life is going to change. I didn't mean literally tomorrow. Come February, March, it went down. What this is the games have begun. The games have begun. And here's how energy works. Elaine, did you send me, I'm not trying to make your personal life public, did you send me an inbox on Facebook today, say, Keith, is this you in this video? If you did not, someone is jacking in your account. I posted 2 heads up on your wall. If you took them down, my apologies for making it public, and I'm glad it was you that took them down. But they were taken down, and often when people try to jack you in your inbox, anything you post to warn the person that they've been... See, there you go. Someone sent me, and I'll send it to you later, a video saying, hey, Keith, is this you in this video? And I knew not to click it. I sent 2 messages on your wall saying, Elaine, I think you might have been infiltrated by the aliens or the demons or the bots or what's the word I'm looking for, the trolls. You changed your password, fantastic. So they were so much in your Facebook that they're the ones that actually took my 2 warnings to you down on your wall. But I'm glad you took care of business, sister. So the door is open. It's wide open. Now this is how energy works. You throw a stone into a pond, it creates an effect. Ripple after ripple after ripple after ripple after ripple. The domino tilted today. A big tree in the forest fell, and you were there to hear it. So, since you're hearing things and willing to listen, listen to those who are sharing with you nuggets, packets of light. Bob says echoes. Packets of light echoes. Boomerang echoes. The games are underway. In a very serious way. So, I'm sorry to tell you, your sacred, beautiful, traditional, classic Santa Claus this year is likely going to look like Billy Bob Thornton and Bad Santa. So you might as well get ready to have Christmas in a very different way. The systems and the institutions that we thought were stable of the world are breaking down. This year we're going to have a bad Santa Christmas, Billy Bob Thornton style. The aliens, those, whatever they are, they don't want you to have fun anymore. They're tired of watching you be joyful. And they're going to kick you right in your balls, punch you right in your heart this Christmas. It's going to be a mess. So I will never be messing in it. Not me. And then the new year, things are going to get really redonkulous, crazy. How do I know this? I know how energy works. I have a friend, he cannot play golf for shit. But he's sought by millionaires all over the world. Lives right in Memphis, Tennessee, a dear friend of mine. So he teaches people who come from all over the world. Every day they fly. And he teaches a group of 20 because he can see the swing. He knows exactly, he can just see as to why these millionaires are paying him all kinds of God knows how much money to use his ability to see. But he can't golf. Many of us do this in different ways. As a teacher who's been doing this so long, I understand the language. I know how energy crests and how it crashes. I know the wake. I know how it functions and moves. Like Bob said, echoes. Hello, 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 hello. Ricola, Ricola, Ricola. But the games have started. Prepare yourself for change, my friends. How do you do that? I can't tell you how to do that. Can you give me something at all? Be of service. Find a cause greater than yourself. Whatever that is. You and a friend goes around feeding people. You and whoever, or you by yourself, you join a cause greater than yourself. And you will align yourself nicely with the cause greater than all of ourselves. It's a way to link up, to ratchet up into the mainframe of the divine. Do something that gives to others greater than yourself. If you're new at this lifestyle, hear this call. Why? Because. Why? Be a cause greater than yourself. If you think this is just silly spiritual woo-woo and jargon and nonsense, don't find yourself 2 or 3 years wishing you started walking towards your conscious destiny, because by then the event horizon will pull you in and you will find yourself as a part of fate that you chose not to choose. Win or lose, love song or the blues, barefoot or shoes, it's all up to me and all of yous. Facebook crashed. $1 trillion worth company crashed today. You want to talk about economy? A single entity, if you will, Facebook, $1 trillion worth. The economy is not as stable as you think. More so, our belief, or what we think is true economy, is an illusion. We've lost sight of true abundance. True abundance. And it should be abundantly clear that within the next year, things are going to topple. Your love beyond measure. My name is Keith Anthony Blanchard, Center of Light. I've been doing this for many, many years. Thank you for all of your support, everyone, through these blood, sweat, and years, tears. You are all dears to me. But like said dears, dear plural, don't get caught in the headlights, because there will be a rifle barrel right between your eyes. And and that'll be one hell of a surprise. I love you. If anything ever happens, I'm asking you, I'm beseeching you, if anything ever happens to where such a way we lose contact, I may not know how to find you, but it would be so much easier in this way that if you find me, please find me. Never lose me. I would never want that to happen between us. KeithAnthonyBlanchard@gmail.com. You can find me. YouTube, I'm everywhere, and that way. Always stay in touch. Light my heart. The shitstorm is really about to start. But it won't be if you find yourself sitting back and eating popcorn in this movie drama we call Earth. It's a drama. It's a series. And we've been binge watching it since we've been born all the way to this point. We watch movies, we get engrossed. I was watching The Walking Dead with my son. We binge watched it. It took 4 months. And because I only saw him every 2 weeks. See him every 2 weeks. I got emotional, man. I was like, I can't believe you just killed Glenn. What's his name? Negan? You killed Glenn with your bat with Lucille. Well, likewise, the Earth. We get caught into the event horizon. So stay in touch. Always stay in touch with yourself. I love you. Brother Bob, Trisha, Vicky, I want to dedicate the rest of this tonight, which is actually a matter of minutes at most. But this whole presentation and all the beautiful energy from you now and everyone in the future that comes out of this presentation, I want to send it to Vicky. She's in a hospital right now and not doing well. I don't have to say what it's for. That is irrelevant. She's needing this tribe, this team of lovers of her to send her blessings. So I'm sending all the energy and ongoingly to Trisha for betterment, wellness, and whatever is in her highest good. I love her. I love you, Vicky. You've been a true support of mine, and I have no choice. It's called a covenant. I'm reciprocating back. That's a fact. Everyone, Keith Anthony Blanchard here. You'll love beyond measure. Heads up. Tonight has been Center of Light. Heads up. The crash heard around the world. This is not really about Facebook. Somewhat is. It's what it means. Socializing, completely gone. Talk about a new social distancing. Wouldn't have been so fun. You love beyond measure.